And the whole cycle begins again, and we want to breathe deeply into our belly and into all sides of the circumference of our low ribs. And as we exhale, we feel our low ribs soften back toward our spine. And then we wait again for the breath to begin. Feeling this pulsation of our breath begins to bring excess energy from our minds back down into the body and towards the earth, so we can begin to be more aware of sensation in our body, out of the thinking mind and into the present moment, where we have an opportunity to connect to our own inner peace, inner stability. To quiet the mind, we have to return to the breath and back into what we're experiencing in this moment. We've been studying the wood element, which is the element of spring. And the element governs our liver and our gallbladder, the organs that cleanse our body, that help us to digest fats. In our practice, we work on standing poses and poses that help our spine to be both strong but also mobile, connecting us to how we have to maintain flexibility as we grow, just like a plant or like a bamboo plant that has to have that mobility to move but has stability so it doesn't collapse. Without flexibility, the first storm to come through will rip out our tree or plant or break the trunk in half. So we have to learn how to flex with the storms. And this requires strength, stability, and movement of the spine. The eye of any storm is calm. And we are continually asked to come back to any eye of the storm, to observe what's going on around us without getting pulled into it. And when we do get pulled into the storm, it's about how quickly we can return back to the eye, to our center. Yoga teaches us it's not about not ever getting out of the eye of the storm, because we're human, but it's how quickly can we get back to our own center, to a place of breath, of grounding, and of calm, even though everything around us might be swirling and tossing around about. That's what our practice will help us with this morning, as it always does. So let's enjoy 3 more deep belly breaths, really feeling our breath move back into our spine. And then as you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And let's make our way onto our feet. So standing near the top of your mat, we'll come into our wake up practice, where we wake up all the meridians of our body to help energy move freely. So you'll take your 2-piece fingers And you'll find your collarbones, you'll find your sternum at the center of your chest, and you'll just go right out here into these two little hollows here, and we'll tap here on kidney 27. We have 14 meridians in our body. We have 14 nadis or energy channels that run up and down our body on either side of the spine. Energy needs to move, and it needs space to move. So when we do these tapping things, it helps any stuck energy in the flow of our meridians, in these nadi channels, to move so that we don't feel stuck, we don't feel as congested. We release an emotion that we've needed to feel because it's been hanging out in our liver and it makes us feel not well. It helps to move imbalances out of the body, and that's why we do this merging of energy medicine and yoga together to enhance our practice, to release any stuckness in our body and in our subtle body, which is where these energy channels live. So now we're going to come right to the top of our sternum bone at the center of our chest and tap here with one hand, one or two fingers. And during this tapping, you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if that just doesn't feel easeful, then you can exhale out through your nose. I want you to take some deep, intentional breaths and really release on the exhale. It releases any pent-up energy, any stress that's hanging out in your body that doesn't need to be there. Let's take one more deep belly breath. And now we'll come to the sides of our low ribs and come a little slightly forward. And we're going to tap around here on our spleen meridian that really governs our liver and our gallbladder as well. So we want to tap here and move some energy through those organs. So when we tap on these points, you know, meridians, they go deep into the body and then they come up toward the surface into little points. And when we tap all around in an area, we are for sure going to be hitting that point. So we don't need to know the exact place of it. Let's take one more cycle of our breath. Good, let's shake out our hands toward the ground. And now let's bring our two peace fingers up onto our cheekbones and lightly tap here at our stomach meridians. Breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth or nose. Good. Shake out your hands toward the earth. Now we're going to do our marching in place, tapping the same hand to the same side thigh, still breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth or nose. And then we're going to pause, shake out our hands, cross opposite hand to opposite thigh without having to stop too long to think about it. Really activating and waking up both sides of our brain, both sides of our body and our energy field. Opening up a program to heal, to release stress anywhere in our body. One more cycle of your breath. And then slowly come to a pause in mountain pose. So take a moment to just feel into when you're doing these practices. After we do it, just notice, do I feel something, a shift, anything different than when we started? So now we'll place our hands right in front of our pubic bone, a couple inches out. And as we inhale, we'll sweep up the front of our body. And as we exhale, we'll release our arms to our side and release our breath. And we'll come right back to the center again. Inhaling, sweep up the center of your body. Exhale. And we'll bring in an affirmation for this wood element around the energy of anger, the emotion of anger. So as we inhale, I am safe. And as we exhale, to speak my truth. I'm safe to speak my truth. I'm safe to speak my truth. One more time. Good. Place one finger right in between your eyebrows at your third eye. Place one finger right in the navel. You're going to pull up and in to these two surfaces and take 3 deep belly breaths. And then shake out your hands toward the earth. Okay, so now we're going to inhale our arms up over our head, and we're going to cross our arms in front of us as we bend our knees and come into a forward bend. Letting our hands release onto the earth. Our knees are bent enough so that this is really about opening our hips and our spine. Just letting your head be heavy toward the ground. You can slowly turn your head, shaking no, yes. Letting go of tension in your upper neck and back. Then place your hands on your big toes, and you're going to sweep up the inside of your ankles, up the inside of your shins. You're pressing in here, your inner thighs, up the spleen meridian to your liver. Bringing your hands up the sides of the body, past the armpits, back down to the sides of your low ribs and slightly forward onto the spleen points. Pressing in there. Breathe in. Exhale. Release. Good. Shake out your hands. Okay. So now we're going to come onto our seat. So if you want to put a folded blanket there, you can. And we're going to massage this liver meridian. So we're going to bring our legs out in front and come into a cobbler pose. So the soles of our feet are together, knees are apart. You can put cushions under your knees if you need more support. Now I want you to put your hands behind you on the floor and now drag your sitting bones forward toward the front of your prop you're sitting on to help your spine be a bit more elongated. Now, I'm going to show you, you're going to come right to the bottom edge of your big toe nail with both thumbs. And you're going to massage right there on your liver point. And then you're going to press up, and you can use thumbs, you can use hands. You're going to press up the top of your feet. Press up toward the ankle. And now we're going to come back into that inner ankle, up the inner shin. And we're going to do some intentional massaging here with thumbs or fingers. You're just massaging up, and you'll start to perhaps feel some sore spots. And that's stuck energy. So you want to actually massage deeper. Breathe. And loosen up that stagnation. And you're going to make your way all the way up to the inside of your knees. And this is where you really might feel some sore spots. Just massaging, there's no wrong way you are going to hit these points. So you just massage all around the inner knee, those liver points. And then we're going to go up to the inside seam of our inner thighs. And we're really pressing in here. And we're going to come all the way up and massage right up above our hip bones, right in between our low ribs and our hip bones. We're going to massage here. See if I can get a little closer so you can see. But it's just under the ribs, above the hip bones, right in here. Good job. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Good. Shake out your hands. Now we'll bring our knees back up, we'll bring our feet in toward our hips into this modified squat. If you want to actually come into the squat, you'll come onto your feet. Release your hips down. That's a deeper flexion for the knees. Otherwise, stay seated. Knees come into the chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. And as you inhale, you're going to dip your chin toward your chest. And as you exhale, you're going to blow out WHO, like you're blowing out a candle. 3 more times. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale. Here we're releasing fear from the body. One more time. Let's transition now onto our hands and knees into all fours. So if you want to use a knee pad for support, if you're on a harder floor, you can add that in. And let's come onto our hands and knees. Toes tucked under or toenails pressing into the earth. Micro bend your elbows so you're not locking your elbows, and make sure your hands are really spread wide. As you inhale, press the mat away, draw your tailbone under, and let your chin rise toward your chest into cat pose. As you exhale, melt your heart towards the mat, claw the mat toward you to bring your heart forward, tailbone rises into cow pose. Inhale, press the mat away, draw your tailbone under, navel to spine. Exhaling, melting your heart toward your mat, lift your spine into cow pose. Follow your own breath, bringing that flexibility into your spine through cat-cow pose. If there's one pose that you could do every single day when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed, it would be this one, cat-cow pose, to keep your spine mobile. Your nervous system, all the meridians, all run up and down your spine. You want to keep the energy flowing, the nervous system in balance. Then pause in a neutral spine. Separate your knees a little bit wider. Come to your toenails. Bring your big toes together. Inhale now, round your spine into cat pose and let your hips release back toward your heels. Now we're going to reach our heart towards the ground, scoop our heart up back into cow pose on the exhale. Inhale, round your spine, cat pose, hips release back toward your heels for child's pose, but now we're moving into that cow pose through sweeping our chest toward the ground. So it becomes a fluid motion. I'm just kind of slowing it down to show you. And you just breathe how you need to breathe naturally. Don't get too hung up on breathing a certain way. One more time. Sweeping your chest toward the earth. Come up into the cow pose. Lift your tailbone. Round the spine. Child's pose will come into the full form now. Let your head rest on a block or your mat with your arms stretched out, head resting. 5 belly breaths here, releasing your hips on each exhale. Really let your head rest. And on your next inhalation, slowly rise back up to all fours. With your belly toned, navel to spine, extend your right leg back. Press your toes into the mat. Stretch through your heel and get into that calf stretch. Keep your spine long. Don't let your head drop. Breathe. Now lift your right leg parallel to the floor. So your foot is flexed. Option to stay here or to add your left arm, hugging it in toward your left ear. Inhaling to the midline. Exhaling and expanding, lengthening your spine, your arms and legs. 2 more breaths. Really reach long through the crown of your head. And when you're ready, come on down to all fours again. If you're feeling too much in your wrists, you need to walk your hands out a little bit out in front of your shoulders and put more weight in the ball of your hands. Second side, left toes press into the mat, reach your heel back, stretch into your calves. Then lift your leg up using your core. Option to now add the right arm hugging in toward your right ear. 3 cycles of your breath. Feel your spine long from the crown of your head out your tailbone. And then lower down. Come back into child's pose. Rest your arms and let your head rest. 3 belly breaths. And then on your next inhale, slowly rise up. Walk your knees back a little bit so that you can step your right foot forward into a lunge. And grab a hold of the back of your thigh or calf if you need support in moving your right foot up. Tuck your back toes under. Bring your left hand onto the mat and turn your belly to the right. Let your top shoulder clear. Now we'll take that back stroke with our right arm. We'll reach it forward and then swing it back. We'll do this 3 more times, bringing lubrication to our right shoulder as we twist in our low belly. And our arm's going to reach straight up toward the sky. We're going to flick pinky finger on the thumb, ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger, all the fingers, activating the meridians of our body. And then we're going to lower our hand down inside of our right foot. And we're going to walk our right foot out towards the edge of our mat and turn it out slightly. You could put your hands on a block or blocks if you want more height. Otherwise, your hands can be here on the floor as you release your back hip, quadriceps psoas. Some of you might be able to bring elbows to a block or elbows come all the way to the ground. 3 belly breaths here, releasing in your hips. Then come back to your hands if you are lower. Walk your front foot in so each hand is on either side of your front foot. Now we're going to step forward and we'll switch sides. Stepping our right foot back and bringing our back knee down. So kneeling lunge, second side. Right hand is on the ground. You could also put a block under your right hand. You're going to turn your belly to the left. Here's that belly twist, a nice little cleanser for the liver. The top arm is going to reach up. Now, if this isn't clear for you, keep your hand on your hip. Your arm is going to reach forward, and then we're going to go back and do the backstroke for 3 cycles of our breath. As we feel our back right hip releasing. And our top arm will come up and we'll flick each finger on our thumb, activating the meridians, and then all the fingers. Breathe in. Exhale, lower your arm down inside of your front foot. And then pivot your left foot out and turn it out slightly so you have more openness in your hips. You could stay right here and consciously release your hips toward the ground. You could bring blocks under your hands. You could even bring your elbows to a block. The lowest option would be elbows on the floor. Stay present with your body and find the middle way. You don't need to go to the nth edge in every pose. You can ease your way toward it so you don't overdo it. Breathe in, breathe out. And slowly come back up onto your hands. Pivot your front foot in. Let's step forward. We'll come into our bent knee uttanasana. Let our spine and our head release like cascading waterfalls in Yellowstone. Now, while we're down here, you're going to bring your palms together and their fingers are spread wide. So your thumbs are pressing together. And now you're going to place your thumbs right inside the bridge of your nose. So on either side, right under the occipital bone of your eyes, you're going to press in and up here on the bladder point. It might feel sore, mine does. So as you do this, you're going to slowly come up into chair pose. So your weight is back in your heels, bum is way back, knees stacked over your ankles. Draw your tailbone under and lift your pubic bone up toward your navel as you extend your spine and you're continuing to lift these corners of your eyes. Breathe. Then as you inhale, you'll slowly straighten your legs, come all the way up. Release your arms and let your hands come to your sides into mountain pose. Bring the back of your neck stacked over your shoulders. Your shoulders are stacked over your sitting bones. Your sitting bones are stacked over your heels while you stand here in mountain pose. Grounding your energy down through your legs into the ground. Okay, so now we're going to go back into our chair pose and we're going to place our hands one on top of each other on our low back. And as we bend our knees and stick our bum back, we'll come into chair, we'll draw our tailbone under. Scooping, think about cat pose, drawing the tailbone under, drawing your navel up toward your sternum. Now we're going to massage one direction on our low back as we breathe. You can continue breathing out through your mouth or nose. If you're feeling like you need to release some energy that is arising, then exhale out through your mouth. And as you inhale, you'll slowly straighten your legs. You're going to sweep your hands forward and flip them over your hip bones a few times. Then we're going to bring our hands around our mouth, cup our mouth, and we're going to exhale audibly. Inhale. One more time. Inhale. Then we're going to bring our hands to our heart. Excellent. All right, you're going to turn toward one long edge of your mat. And we're going to step into a wide stand. And we're going to turn our left foot out to a 90-degree angle. So I'll mirror you. Check in with your heels and align your heels in a straight line. We're going to bring in with our hands on our heart. As we inhale, this front leg is straight. And as we exhale, we'll bend our front knee and stack it over our ankle. And then we'll press into our front foot like we're drawing energy stockings up our legs to straighten our leg. So we're going to flow through this a few times. While we do this, this back leg stays anchored. It doesn't go with us, nor does our spine. We keep our spine right where it is right now. Think mountain pose. Then as we exhale our breath, we bend our front knee. As we inhale, we'll straighten our front leg. The back leg is our anchor as we do this. You begin to feel the opening of your inner groins, and this really helps to stabilize your SI joints of your sacrum, but allow you to freely move and walk when they're open and aligned. So continuing to move with your breath. And then we can sweep our arms out like wings, and our gaze can go over our left hand. And here we're moving in and out of Warrior Two pose for 2 more rounds of our breath. Now we're going to come into Warrior Two pose and hold the pose. Back foot anchors. Front buttocks is drawn under in the outer spiral. Back thighs inner spiraling in and back. 3 deep belly breaths, grounding into the earth. Middle way of effort. Good, then inhale slowly, straighten your front leg. Lower your arms down. Turn your foot forward, and now pivot your right foot out. And we'll do the same thing on the second side, starting with our hands placed on our heart. Inhale, lengthen your spine, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your front knee over your ankle without disconnecting your back foot. Follow your own breath. Notice when you bend into your front knee, are you leaning with your spine? Instead, keep your spine upright like mountain pose. One more time, inhaling to straighten, exhaling into Warrior Two. Now let's hold the pose, extend our arms out and gaze over our right hand. 3 belly breaths. Inhaling, straighten your front leg. Exhaling, lower your arms. Pivot your foot forward. Let your knees softly bend here. Now place your hands on your belly. You're going to lift your belly up and over your pelvic rim so that you clear your belly of your hips. And now your hands come to the floor. Your knees are bent. If you have blocks, please place them under your hands. And then you're going to move your inner thighs in and back and start to straighten your legs as best as you can, letting your spine now release toward the earth. Your head's releasing, you're breathing. Now this is an option. You can bring your thumbs onto the low rim of your big toenail again and massage and press in on that point for a few breaths. Remember, we're supporting the cleansing of our liver, the movement of our gallbladder and the strengthening of it, and supporting the movement of the emotion of anger that's been stuck in our body to move out, to release into assertive action, healthy boundaries. Because our anger is essentially just poison for us when we kind of hang on to it and don't move the energy of it into something more productive. Now, as we come up, we're going to sweep up that inside line again of our ankles, our inner shins, our inner knees, our inner thighs, up the front of our body, past our armpits, and then we'll massage those spleen points at the side ribs and slightly forward. Just kind of massaging back and forth there. And then we'll release our hands. Then we can heel toe our feet together or step our feet together and return back into mountain pose. Pausing here to relax our legs and our feet into the ground. Okay, so now we're going to work in our tree pose. And I'll give you some elements. If you know that you like to use a wall or a chair just to kind of support you with the balance, go ahead and just stand by that. We'll start balancing on our left leg, and then we'll open up our right hip and kickstand our foot. So if you're not using a hand support, I want you to bring your right hand. Let's see if I'm mirroring you. Your left hand is on your right ribs, and then your right hand is on your left elbow. So we're touching these spleen meridian points here. Now you'll bring your foot up and come to your inner shin, hugging your foot to your inner shin, or you'll be coming up above your knee to your inner thigh. That's the more advanced posture for tree. If you are using something to support you, make sure you're not leaning your left leg into it. Think about a solid trunk, roots up. Make sure that your hip is aligned over your heel. You're breathing and your gaze is out on something in front of you that ideally isn't moving, though we'll test your balance more if it is. Okay, on your next exhale, you can lower down, release, walk it out, shake it out a little bit, and we'll head to the second side. We'll bounce on our right leg. We'll open our left hip. Then you'll bring your right hand to your sides of your left ribs, your left hand on your other elbow. Ground solidly through the roots of your right foot and bring your left foot to your shin or above your knee to your inner thigh. Hugging your foot to the skin of your leg, drawing that earth energy up your legs to your core. Feel that tone and lift, and then feel that supporting the lift of your spine. And then come on out, walk it out, shake it out, and release. Nice job. Okay, so now we're going to work a little bit with the energy or emotion of anger. And we're going to do that through this practice called expelling the venom. So what we're going to do is we'll just take a comfortable stance, we'll bend our knees, and as if we were digging up, pulling up one of those, what are they, stinging nettles, the roots that we don't want here in the valley. We want to pull just any root. So just think about a deep taproot. And as you inhale, you're pulling up this taproot out of the earth. And as you exhale, you're going to make two fists, bring them up overhead, exhale, SH toward the earth. releasing the anger into the ground. And then let your hands come all the way to the ground so that you can feel that energy of heat in your hands as your anger is transmuted into assertive action, into setting a healthy boundary, into taking justice, taking a stand. Let's do it again. Inhale, pulling that taproot up. Whatever it is you feel angry about, maybe you don't even know why, but you just know it's in there. Up, you're gonna inhale your arms overhead, exhale, essay. Shh. Release it toward the ground. And you might spit a little bit on your mat, and that's okay. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, pulling up, inner anger, rage. Exhale, exhale. Shh. With your hands on the ground, pause here and just let it be transmuted. Let your anger be transformed. And then you're going to gather that transformed soil and seed, and we're going to throw it up into the sky. Shh. And let it land in its new form, its more productive form, love, gratitude, truth, action. And then we'll bring our hands onto our heart. We'll pause and breathe here. Okay, so now we're going to do a practice called the schoolyard hookup, and I know it's a silly name, but you'll see why. We're going to cross our left leg over our right leg. Then we're going to bring our arms out in front. We'll turn our palms out, and we're going to take our right arm on top of our left arm and clasp our hands. Then we'll bend our elbows and we'll bring our hands into our chest. And now we're going to take 5 deep belly breaths. If you close your eyes, it'll definitely work your balance a little more. You don't have to do that. Then we'll release our arms back out. We'll uncross our arms and lower them. Uncross our legs, and we'll take our right leg over our left. Our arms will come out. Turn our palms out. And then we'll take our left arm over our right. We'll find the clasp. We'll bend our elbows in. So it's, we've got some movement in the wrists here. And then your hands are resting at your heart center. 5 belly breaths here. Just feel into sensation and noticing in your body. What does this feel like to do this? And we'll release our arms back out. We'll uncross the arms and the legs, and we'll shake it out. Okay, we're going to work an eagle pose now, which is a balanced pose. So again, if you want some support, have a chair next to your left leg or a wall. I'll show you variations. So if you're not using a hand support, that means that you can bring your arms out like wings. And you're going to bring your right elbow under your left elbow, and you're going to wind your arms around each other until your palms can touch. Your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Then as you ground into your left foot and leg with stability and roots, you're going to bring, using your core, your left knee up, and you're going to cross your leg around your left leg as far as you can. So maybe your foot makes it to your inner shin. This is eagle pose. If you're not using the chair, you can just do the legs. If you want to go deeper, you'll bend your left knee, bring your hips straight back. Think about chair pose. And then let your elbows move in toward your navel, squeezing your belly organs and cleansing them. Breathe. Then you'll slowly come on up. You'll spread your wings to land back on the earth. Now you'll bring your thumbs onto the center of your forehead. And you're going to press your thumbs out along the front of your forehead to your temples. Curl your fingers, come to the center of the forehead, and continue that pressing out toward the temples. Good, we're gonna do that again. Start with your thumbs in the center of your forehead. You'll smooth out to your temples. Then you'll curl your fingers, come to the center of the forehead, press out to your temples where you have lymph nodes. We're doing it one more time. Inhaling, press the thumbs to the temples. Exhale. Curl the fingers, press out. You'll surpass your eyebrows. You'll feel some tenderness likely. Bring that stuck lymph to your lymph nodes so the lymph system can release that. Now I want you to sweep your hands behind your ears. Bring your hands to the tops of your shoulders. Press here for 3 breaths. And then slide your hands forward to your heart. Good. Shake it out. Nice job. We're going to come down onto our seat now. So sit on a folded blanket with your legs stretched out in front of you. Scoot your bum to the edge of your blanket so you're right on your sitting bones. Then you're going to take each thigh and turn your inner thigh in. Slide your hand back, move the butt flesh out of the way, come onto your sitting bone again. Do the same thing on the other side. Now you're going to bend your left knee and you're going to bring your foot to the inside of your right thigh. So if you need a block or a pillow under your knee, you can set that up. As you root your sitting bones down, lift your spine, navel to spine. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to move from your hips, so you're hinging there to reach your heart toward your toes without rounding your shoulders or dropping your head. If you feel anything right here uncomfortable in your low back, please bend your right knee. On each exhale, you're hinging from your hips and reaching your heart any amount more toward your toes. Let your breath move back into your spine. Inhale, slowly bring yourself back upright. Draw your left knee in, stretch your leg out. Second side, bend your right knee and bring your foot to the inner left thigh. Put a block or pillow under your knee if you need that. Sitting bones rooted, so is your left heel. Keep a slight bend in your knee if you are more tight in your hamstrings. Then inhale, lengthen your spine, soar your shoulders back, and let your front heart soar toward your toes. Deep belly breaths. Returning again and again to your breath. When you feel your mind taking over, when you feel yourself getting pulled back into the storm that's around you, come back to your breath. Come back to the eye of the storm where you just watch without getting pulled in and attached to the changes that are going on, but letting yourself hold witness, feeling what you need to feel absolutely so that we don't continually have imbalances in our body. One more deep belly breath. Inhale, slowly rise back up. Bring your knee back in, stretch your legs out, shake your legs out. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. So you can put a head and neck support under your head if you need that, and please have your block handy. When you arrive on your back, let your knees bend, feet hip distance apart, and feet are straight ahead so that one's not turned in or out. As you inhale, your arms reach up overhead, your hips rise up into bridge pose. As you exhale, your arms and hips return back to the mat, and you'll follow your own breath. Inhaling, hips rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, release your hips, arms lower. 3 more cycles of your breath. The next time your arms are overhead, keep your hips up in bridge pose. Press actively down through your feet. Hug your inner thighs together. Feel your tailbone lift up and in. 3 belly breaths. Rooting through the backs of your shoulders. Relaxing your chin toward your heart. Opening the front line of your body as your back, body, and your spine are strengthened here. And as you exhale, slowly lower back down with your hips. Let your arms come to your sides. You're going to wrap your hands on either side of your ribs again, like you're giving yourself a hug. And we'll do some slow sit-ups here as we press into our spleen points. So you'll inhale here. You'll exhale, scoop your tailbone under, draw your navel in and up toward your spine. Lift your forehead toward your inner thighs so your chin is relaxed toward your chest. Your neck is long. And then you'll release back down. Inhale. Exhale. Scoop your tailbone under. Reach your forehead toward your inner knees. Keep your shoulders relaxed. So this is all about the core. And then slowly lower down. If this is too much for your neck, you can continue on. If it's too much for your head and neck, you're feeling tightness, pain, just follow the scooping of your core without lifting your head. You can do the same action. You want to go slowly back down, so up and down are both core controlled. One more time. Relax your head and then relax your arms to your sides. Draw your right knee in toward your chest and straighten your left leg onto the mat. Your left hand will come to your right knee and your right arm will go onto the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, guide your knee to the left over the midline of your body, keeping your right shoulder blade anchored. Place your left hand behind the popliteal crease of your knee, so the knee crease, your hand is there as you guide your knee towards the earth. If it feels good in your neck, turn your head toward your right hand. Inhale, release. Stretch your leg out. Left knee draws in, right hand comes to the knee. Left arm anchors on the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, guide your knee to the right. Keep your left shoulder blade pinned on the mat and place your right hand behind the knee crease of your left leg. If it feels good in your head, turn and look toward your left hand. Inhale, back up and stretch your leg out. Find your block, or whatever prop is going to act like your block. Place it at its lowest level. Probably for most of you, you'd like that. Maybe one or two of you might like to bring it up to the second level. But you're going to bend your knees and place it under your sacrum. So the bottom edge of your block comes to the place where your buttock splits into two halves. You're going to bring your knees up above your hips, and then you'll let your legs straighten to the point that you can, where you don't feel your low back is compromised. This is our legs up the wall. Viparita Karani is the Sanskrit words, and it's all about moving the fluids and the blood, the lymph fluids from our feet down our legs to our hips into the hormone centers in our body, nourishing them, replenishing our leg muscles, our hips, calming for the mind. So we are working a little bit here in the legs and the core to keep the legs up, but I want you to try to find as much relaxation and softness in the pose that you can, including keeping your jaw relaxed. Relaxing the back muscles into the mat. And with your breath, breathing in and out through your nose, calming to the nervous system. Five more belly breaths. As you're ready, you'll bend your knees slowly, draw your knees toward your chest for 3 belly breaths. With your hands on your kneecaps, separate your knees wide, bring them back together. We'll take a little bit of hip circles here. One direction and then switching directions. And then bringing one foot at a time back to the mat, lightly. And we'll lift our hips up. We'll remove our prop and we'll slowly make our way back to the mat. And now resting into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. You can totally just relax here. I'm going to just demonstrate one neurovascular hold for the emotion of anger that you can do when you're feeling anger. And want to just move it toward a positive direction. So you're going to place the heels of your hands on your cheekbones so that your palms are covering your eyes and your hands are spread out on your forehead. And you're just holding here, breathing, and you'll hold here as long as you feel you want to. Surrendering your spine into the earth. Coming back into presence with your breath. The sensation you're noticing in your body. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Allow your breaths to begin to deepen. Bringing a little life into your body. Slowly making your way back up into a comfortable seated position. And we'll close here with the sound of Om together. I'm gonna try unmuting ourselves so we can hear each other. Let's take a full deep breath in and out. Breathing in together. Namaste to each of you. Blessing.